Yo, what up? It's Aaron Moses, and this is part two of Inside the Hateful and Lonely World of Incel Men, Uncovering Incels by SBS The Feed. Let's get it.
In pockets of the internet, there is a subset of men who call themselves incels, and we've been meeting with them.
Obviously, I had violent thoughts. You do me dirty, I will do you dirty.
They're mostly young men, usually virgins, who blame women and attractive guys for why they aren't in a relationship or having sex.
There is most likely not a single female on the planet that would be willing to date me.
In a growing online movement, many buy into a hateful, misogynistic, and sometimes violent rhetoric.
I don't want to be in those spaces anymore. I don't want to see the things that they're saying.
So what happens when this online hate spills out into the real world?
How did this young man who seemed to have everything become a mass murderer?
Before we start this story, we want to let you know that it contains violence. First up, we're meeting an incel who used to have violent fantasies about women, but now no longer does.
Hi there.
You gonna go in his house? So he told you he used to have violent fantasies about females, and you asked him what his address was and showed up with a camera? Look at how he's looking at you, bro. Look at how he's looking at titties. He looks like he wants to make a fist right now. This man has his... Look at this. He has on a Japanese hoodie with that French-ass striped t-shirt tucked into a military belt with some granddad faded jeans. This nigga is dangerous. This man is still dangerous. Looking at them titties.
Violent fantasies about women, but now no longer does.
Hi there. Hey, how are you? Nice to meet you.
You see how he didn't even want to touch her hand like that? Nice to meet you. Oh yeah, come on in. What?
But now no longer does.
Hi there.
Oh, you see that? And I didn't even really notice that. His door opens from the outside, from the inside out. Yeah, this man, you can't even kick that door open. This man is that dangerous. He thought about this architecture. It's probably some girls in the basement as we speak right now. How long ago was this? 2 months ago? A year ago? Yeah, he has some women's in his basement, man. Look at him.
Nice to meet you.
I used to be a full-on incel, hate women, you know.
What were some of the worst thoughts you were thinking?
Obviously, I had violent thoughts. I always held back, you know, in real life. Thoughts of, like, women that I did want to, you know, rape. As a teenager, there was quite a few women that I did want to break their nose so they would be ugly and couldn't get a hot boyfriend.
Ryan, which is not his real name, was 15 when incels started emerging online.
That's not his real name. You just showed his real house, his real computer, his real face. If I wanted to find this dude, all I would have to do was screen record this, screenshot it, and do a Google image search. You think it's 2025? You think it's hard to find this dude? And if I was actually good with computers, I'd be able to find his address and all of that. Just off of the little that I know about Ryan. That's probably his middle name.
It was everywhere, and I got pretty involved in it. All my friends got pretty involved in it.
The website he visited is now the biggest incel forum on the internet, where hatred towards women is encouraged.
And while I regret having those thoughts, I don't blame myself. Obviously it's bad. I've recognised it's bad. I don't have those thoughts anymore. But all in all, I felt the way I felt for a reason. And I feel like, you know, every other incel feels like that as well.
Ryan says he's always felt like an outcast. In his teenage years, he was bullied for his height, and he says all of those bullies were women.
I was taught women are queens, you know, respect women.
Nigga, that's because they wanted you, bro. The only reason they were bullying you for your height is because they thought you were handsome and they wanted you to give them attention. they didn't really care about you. They wanted you, man. They wanted your sausage, bro. They were just, man, where's his father?
All that stuff. I wasn't allowed to ever discuss how bad women could be. I have had a sexual partner before, but
Once?
I've really struggled with expressing myself to anybody at all.
Now 21, Ryan still identifies as an incel, but is trying to move away from a community that he calls toxic.
The majority opinion is kind of disgusting. I see the most foul shit of my life every day. The pedophilia. It's quite rampant. They can't get a girlfriend, so they're resorting to whatever women they can find.
That's not women.
Ryan says he's seen other incels laugh at videos of people being dismembered, and sometimes even more.
There's a lot of them that just enjoy seeing people suffer. Like, it's stupid bitch, she got raped. She just deserved it, lol. It's really disgusting.
Bro, they don't censor this? I don't even think I could put this out. Damn. How long this been out for? A whole year? I think I might be safe. But they probably got like power behind them. I'm just a regular nigga.
They just sort of brush it to the side like, oh, these are just satirical posts. It's like, no, they do feel that way.
Yeah, they do. It's not satirical. That's not funny.
Incels are mostly young men who believe women will only ever date the most attractive guys. It's a community fixated on its inability to find a partner or have sex.
You know what's funny about that? This is what I talked about with my cousin years ago. Not this. But it seems like all of these guys are in a financial deficit. And if you don't know what that means they're broke. They're financially unhealthy. They're poor. And if you think, you might be saying, Aaron, but they're young guys. The last episode, the first part, the dude was like, was that the first part? It's like late, so yeah, that was the first. The last one, the first part, this dude was 30 with no job. These dudes don't have motivation because they don't have women. They don't have girlfriends, and they think, I'm so ugly, no woman could ever want me, so I might as well not even get money. Nigga, if you had money, you would have more exposure to females. Not saying that you should be with females just because they want you for your money, but at least you would have some kind of power or leverage in the world. You think women want dudes that look good all women? Bro, have you not seen the NBA or the NFL? Most people in the world are not attractive. Most people in the world. If you watch any kind of athletic sport, a lot of those guys, now logically now, if most people in the world are not attractive, I'm not saying ugly, but most people in the world are not attractive or exceptionally attractive. They're either average looking, that's why they're called average, or they're not attractive, they're ugly. Or some kind of variant of ugly. Now, most people in the NBA and NFL, because they are average people, they just have above average athletic skills, they're probably ugly as hell. Or average. If you think that most women only want to be with attractive dudes, nothing will get done, bro. Nothing will get done, ever.
But when Ryan got a girlfriend, he was shunned.
You're a traitor, get out, you're not incel. Slowly over time realised that if I keep having this horrible toxic mindset, I'm never going to go anywhere in life.
Even though he's trying to leave the incel world, he still has some strong feelings towards women.
It's more just jealousy that women sort of get dealt a little bit of an easier hand in life than men.
A little bit.
It's always expected for men, approach the girl, buy her stuff, shit like that. These days I feel pretty neutral about women. I don't hate them as violently as I used to.
And while Ryan hasn't acted on those violent thoughts,
but you still do. But Hey, you can't build. Rome wasn't built in a day. I can't get mad at this dude. At least he's trying.
Others have. Josh is a researcher who's been looking at the link between incels and violent terror attacks.
We know that they're on the increase internationally. In North America, 60 terror attacks that can be linked to incel actors.
One of those terror attacks was the infamous killing spree of Elliot Rodger.
7 people are dead and another 13 injured in what Californian police have called a premeditated mass murder.
Before his attack, he published a lengthy manifesto blaming women and attractive men for why he hadn't found a girlfriend. More recently, a British incel posted videos raging against his mother and his inability to attract.
Why are all those dudes bald out there? Did they have to shave their hair for their
Recently,
job?
a British incel posted.
I'm guessing they had to shave their head to do that job. Or are they all just naturally bald? We got 4 bald people in one spot and all white coats. That looks a little sketchy, bro. Where did they work? What is this? This is some American Horror Story type shit. That doesn't even make sense. That's more concerning than the actual crime itself. The fact that 4 people with coats and blue gloves on that are all bald with masks on showed up at the same place at the same time. I don't know. MK Ultra.
Videos raging against his mother and his inability to attract women. After posting those videos, he killed 5 people, including his mother.
Damn!
The vast majority of incels are reasonably peaceable. In relation to attacks carried out by incels in Australia, there are no known attacks.
But he believes incels may be linked to other crimes.
Law enforcement aren't always attuned to what may constitute an incel terror attack. In many cases, they've been treated as murders rather than terror attacks by authorities.
On a number of occasions, Australia's National Intelligence Agency, ASIO, has called out incels as a potential threat to national security.
They are just violent extremist misogynists who believe women are the root of all of their problems, and they've killed people overseas. And we have people with those beliefs here in this country.
You know what's funny? Well, not funny. Nothing, actually. When I was more clouded up, I had more friends in Australia, and none of them wanted to be with the Australian guys. So, I mean, I'm not saying that it's women's fault or anything like that, but when you guys are constantly trying to look for people outside of your country, I mean, and the population of Australia is like little as hell. I think Australia's population is like 10 million, and it's like 10 million people in New York City. And Australia is a big ass island for what I can understand. But for it to be so big and people driving an hour away to meet up, that's kind of jacked up. But I am an American, a proud American. And, I mean, of course, I drew the attention of these women that probably already, what they did have in common, those 5 women, is that they already liked Americans or non-Australian guys. I'm sure there's a lot of I'm sure most Australian women want most Australian men, probably. I don't know. Maybe not. I don't know.
And a lot of the other younger girls and boys in these communities were effectively groomed by the older people around us.
What is she talking about?
A lot of the other younger girls and boys in these communities were effectively groomed by the older people around us.
What community? I don't want to.
Although the majority of incels are men, Lani was one of the few women allowed into the community. She connected in online chat rooms.
In most of these community servers, you would find probably 2 to 5 women, and everyone knows who they are. I guess I've always felt pretty outcasted in school. I'd say that was one of the main reasons I stuck around, because you get that attention, and I didn't really get that outside of the internet.
Lani was 14.
Because you're weird. Look at you. You're about to walk a cat with a leash? Cause you're weird, bro. You was outcasted at school. She's not an ugly girl. You were outcasted so bad that you went on an incel website with a whole bunch of dudes that don't. I'm not saying that all incels hate women, because we obviously could see that that's not true. But the majority of them probably hate women. And you went on a website that hates women, and because you all cats,
when she joined the incel community. But by 16, she wanted nothing to do with it.
Yeah, there were a lot of older men weaseling their way into your close circle and getting you to open up, even get us to lie about our ages, and their only goal with me was to acquire some kind of relationship or sexual encounter. They go for younger women because they're typically more vulnerable.
And what kind of things would they tell you?
Like typical grooming things, phrases like,
nope,
you're so mature for your age, or you're not like the other girls.
With some of the incels, she had online and real-life connections, but she says many of them used her.
I experienced sextortion. My first experiences were them taking photos or videos of me without my knowledge in very compromising positions, and then threatening me with those things to post it online into the dark web, possibly, and have it circulate for the rest of your life.
And she says what happened to her isn't even the worst of what she saw inside the community.
In most of the...
Wait a minute. You got that big-ass house, that weird-ass shirt, all those plants, that 55-inch screen TV, free C-Mac. Where's your dad? I'm not saying that females can't make money like that, but more than likely she has two parents. She's Caucasian. Where's your dad? Unless your mom is a brain surgeon, I don't see how one person could afford all of these luxuries. This leather-ass couch. You got water bill high as hell. Look at those plants, bro. They're all beautiful. Come on, man. You got 20 plants just from the living room there. Imagine how many plants she got in the other rooms. Where's her dad? Dad, are you watching this?
Communities, majority of the guys had some story where they had been accused of something, the most severe being rape.
Lani told me that other incels overseas had been arrested for violence and being with underage girls.
After the second or third one, I was like, okay, there is definitely a pattern here. I don't want to be in those spaces anymore. I just don't want to be there. I don't want to see the things that they're saying, and I don't want to know about, what's happening in there.
There are hundreds, potentially tens of thousands of men in Australia.
So if they say thank you a minute and a half, there's no way they could say the R word one more time in a minute and a half, because I'm done.
Who feel so marginalised from wider society that they need to gather in these communities to find some sort of connection with others.
Josh says it's difficult to engage with incels, who are often hidden away in private online communities.
There is a vacuum of information for young men who spend a good chunk of their lives online, who are being hit with misogynistic material not only daily but hourly, by the minute.
26 million people in Australia. He said 10,000. That's what? My math. 2%? That's a lot. Nah, that would be like... Yeah, I think that's like, I don't know. It's late.
So now that you're trying to put some distance between yourself and the community, where does that leave you?
Well, it's only up from here, I think. It's nothing but toxicity for the most part, so I think I'm just going to move on from it completely. Eventually. I think it'll take a few years.
Why do you think it'll take a few years?
It's just all the mental conditioning that I've experienced as a teenager. I've got to sort of reverse most of that thinking.
So for someone who hasn't reached the same headspace as you, how do you think we can engage with those incels still in the community?
You don't.
Take them seriously. Treat them like humans, because that's what they've really sort of deep down always wanted.
Anyways, man, again, I don't think this is funny. I think it's really sad, actually. 'Cause I see myself inside them guys. Pause. I could definitely understand why so much frustration and anger and all of that. Because if you think about it, bro, how does the average person feel when they can't? Look at all these people wilding out in Popeyes. Look at what people do or used to do for Popeyes chicken sandwiches when you get their order wrong at McDonald's. That's a primal instinct to want to fight for your food, because you need that to survive. You need that for your well-being, right? People do crazy things for the simplest things in life. Imagine being frustrated over something that you certainly need. You might say to yourself, but you don't need. Yes, you do. You definitely do. You need some loving for your well-being, and parts of you needs it to survive. There's parts of you that were built and hardwired into you to procreate, or at least act like you're gonna procreate with another person. It's all a part of your survival and your well-being. Look at all these people. Wow, she just beat her ass at McDonald's. She must have been very hungry. She really was. A lot of these people are not addicted to fast food. Some of them are, but they're hungry, and you're getting in the way of them actually eating and feeding that hunger, because they need to survive. They feel like they're gonna expire if they don't get their desire. And these guys have been told that they cannot feed their need to be well with their penis. That's really sad. So the next time you're hungry, I want you to think about incels and how they feel, because it's all fun and games until you're next. It is what it is. It's not what it's not. It's Aaron Moses. I'm the bang, you the bang. We the bang together, man. Life is in the brother. Breathe it in. Peace. Gang.